Too often we find ourselves only trying to make a difference in our own life. And in doing so, we see other people as something to use to get what we want. If we think about it, I think we would find that we spend a good deal of our life just going through the motions. We get so busy with our day-to-day activities that we forget to pay attention to the quality interactions that we should be having while we're accomplishing our daily tasks. What has happened to our society where something has become more important than someone? One of the most important things in any of our lives is our relationships with other people. There's no question that our day-to-day activities are important, but they're not more important than the people we interact with during these activities. We see this unbalance play itself out in almost every setting we could be involved in. In business, when we pay more attention to making money than we do in how we treat the people that help us make that money, or in entertainment, when we see fights break out in the stands at sporting events and winning or losing has become more important than good sportsmanship and simply encouraging the players. We also see it in our social life, when we become more concerned with seeing that every little detail is carried out to perfection in planning the event than we do with seeing that everyone who attends is made to feel included and important. We need to change our behavior in each of these scenarios from being self-focused to a focus on other people. Once we change this behavior, we will be able to shift from something being more important than someone and begin to add this important thought to our daily lives. Am I actually trying to make a difference in someone else's life? Too often we find ourselves only trying to make a difference in our own life. And in doing so, we see other people as something to use to get what we want. If we do this, it will actually work in reverse of what we want. People will recognize that all we want is what we can get from them. And when this happens, they'll not be there for us at all anymore. It is actually much more productive for us to use ourselves, our skills, our talents, and our abilities to make a difference in someone else's life. When we do this, people will want to be there for us in return, even without us having to ask. We see examples of this in commercials today. The concept of paying it forward, where we give to someone and they in turn give to someone else, and eventually this comes back to us. This concept has a core element of what is the impression we want to make on someone. It would go a long way to help spread more love to the world if we could treat each of our encounters with other people as if it was the lasting impression we wanted to leave with that person. I truly believe this is what each of us would really like to do, but we get so bogged down chasing the activity of our day-to-day life that we become mindless and we just fall into following a routine or simply going through the motions. Life is short, and every opportunity we miss out on is an opportunity we may never get again. So how do we change from the mindless routine of just going through the motions to actually being mindful and trying to make a difference in someone else's life? I think all of us would like our life to be rewarding, where we actually feel a purpose and that we are accomplishing that purpose. But even though we want that, we end up giving in because we don't want to put forth the effort it takes to do this. I truly believe this fact is one of the reasons we see so much conflict and division in the world today. We know that one of the greatest purposes we could have for a rewarding life is to make a difference in someone else's life. But when we don't put forth the effort, it puts us in conflict with ourselves. We want more from ourselves than that, but we don't follow through. And because this conflict exists inside us, it has no other place to be released than for us to transfer it out into the world. We actually know better. We have all experienced this before. We do something for someone else that makes a difference in their life, and even though we may have felt like we were too tired and we didn't want to do it, after it was done, we felt fulfilled and we had a sense of peace. We need to remember this feeling so that the next time we want to give way to routine and just go through the motions, we'll go ahead and put forth the effort to make a difference in someone else's life, knowing that it will be rewarding to us, which will help us feel fulfilled, and it will give us a sense of peace. When this happens, we will reduce the conflict inside of us and replace it with peace, which in turn will help us share more love to the world.
Stay tuned for a preview of next week's episode at the end of this video.
As always, guys, give it a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. What kind of relationships do we want with other people? Do we want deep relationships that promote growth and meaning and understanding? Or do we want shallow relationships that just skim the surface and have very little growth and meaning and understanding?